Hello and welcome to another episode of Soul and Screen. In this particular video, we will be continuing the conversation in regards to soul ties. We are using the TV show Tyler Perry's Sistas, and we are utilizing the situationship between Zac Fatima and Karen. Let's just get straight into it. Last video, we picked up at the restaurant where Zac confronts Karen and asks her if she, in fact, had a picture taken of him, her actually giving him a hug and a kiss on the cheek to send to Fatima. The picture got to Fatima. Of course, she's upset because in the picture, the angle is a little off, and so you can't tell that she's kissing him on the cheek. It looks like that she's kissing him, period. But Fatima kind of don't care anyway at this point. Like, in all honesty, Zac, in her mind, you shouldn't be letting her touch you, kiss you, none of that in the first place. Why? Because the last time you did anything with her, you slept with her and you got her pregnant, and here we are in this position. So to kind of pick up where we left off there, remember again, tensions are high at this point because while we have come into a point of the series where like every few days or so some type of situation, altercation, confrontation, something goes down with Karen, whether she's showing up at Zac and Fatima's home, Fatima's job cussing her out, they're home cussing them out, like just everybody's emotions are high at this point. Karen is high, emotions are high because she's pregnant and wants Zac back, and Zac don't want her, he wants Fatima. And so she's been lashing out at Fatima and Zac and just really wreaking havoc upon their lives as they begin their new relationship. Zac and Fatima at this point, again, as I said in the previous video, it's pretty much like a cup that you pour water into over and over again as the drama is being poured in by Karen day by day, more and more. Their cup is getting to the point where it's not just full, it is now overflowing. And so the water representing their emotions. So they have been maintaining and their composure and trying to stay calm and cool, have a cool mind about this entire situation for a while now. And at this point, it's just too much. And they literally both just kind of snap. And when I mean both, I mean Zac and Fatima at this point, because Karen has already lost it. So we pick up again. Zac at the restaurant, he's telling Karen, did you do this? Did you have somebody take a picture? And she's like, Zac, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, you messing with my life at this point. And he's just like, I'm trying to be nice and cool with you. And then she's like, you know what? I'm not doing this. So she gets up and he grabs her arm. And he's like, you're not going nowhere. We about to finish talking about this. And Aaron chimes in and he's like, man, don't be grabbing her. Now, remember, Aaron is trying to be Karen's man. He not, but because not one time has Karen acknowledged this dude as her man. This was a dude that she started dating after she started talking to Zac, and she's had sex with him once. And because Aaron, for his own reasons, is wanting Karen to the point where now he could care less that this lady at this point called this man's name out while they were having sex, when they were getting ready to have sex a second time. Like, there is nothing that she is doing to indicate really that she wants to be with him, but Aaron is dealing with his own soul tie and wounds and stuff that he's just really just trying to get in where he fit in all honesty. So of course he steps up to Zac and he's just like, man, don't be grabbing her. And so Zac and Aaron literally get into it at the restaurant. Now at this point, they're fighting. Karen is like, oh my goodness, Zac, stop. And so Fatima and Angela walk in. And Fatima's like, Andy, what the hell is going on? Like, what, and so she sees Zac and they fighting and everything. And so they fight, and like Aaron is getting his licks in, Zac is getting his licks in. And so finally the waiters and somebody comes in and they're able to separate Zac and Aaron for a moment while they are doing that. So here's the thing. I watch TV with captions on. And it's so funny because when you read some of the captions, you literally, it says that Aaron is saying, Fatima said, stop Zac, like while he beating him up. Aaron is yelling. Fatima said, "Stop, Zac." And so Fatima actually gets in in between Zac and Aaron, and she's like, "Zac," and she's pushing him away, and she's looking, and she's like, "Zac, stop." And she's yelling, of course, because they're all arguing and yelling, and she's trying to get Zac's attention. So she grabs his shoulder, and she's like, "Look at me," in his face. And she's like, "Look at me, look at me." And she makes him look at her. Now, people may not think that this is a big deal, but for somebody like me, it is a huge deal. So, from a writing perspective, and then when it comes to relationships, right? A woman being able to calm her man down when he is in the middle of a fight, that's love. That's just me. I don't care. I've been around a lot of dudes who, like in that hood life and stuff like that. And it's just, once they go, they go. But if you can get you a woman who can calm you down, that's what your woman should do. You guys really should be bringing peace to one another, in certain aspects. But anyway, she gets his attention. She grabs his face and she's like, "Look at me, look at me." And he looks at her and she's like, "Calm down." And he's like, "Fatima, I'm just tired of all this." And she's like, "Zac, stop it. Calm down." And she's like, "Let's go." She looks him dead in his eye. And at this point, they're making eye contact. So he's calming down. And she's like, "Let's go." And so Zac, he looks over like at Aaron, like, forget it. And then Fatima grabs his hand and they walk out. On the other side of the room, Karen is like, "Aaron, let's go." Karen and Andy are like, "Aaron, let's just go." And so they go out that other door, and that's pretty much the end of the fight. You fast forward into a little further into the evening. Zac, he drives home in his car. Fatima gets a ride home from Angela, and so they get to the house first, and Angela is kind of, "Dang, did you see that? Like, dude was blowing." And, Fatima's like, "Angela, like, dude, like, I don't feel like hearing this. Like, I'm already pissed off, in the first place because of all of this. And now I got to go in here and deal with this crap. So I don't really want to hear like the mocking and the instigating and things like that." So she shuts her down. And Angela's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "You sure you don't want to come home with me?" Like, because he seemed mad. And Fatima's like, "No, like, no." And so she's like, "You sure?" And she's like, "I'm sure, Angela." And she goes, "Well, do you even think he about to come straight home?" And Fatima's like, "He better come straight home." And as soon as she says that, he's pulling up. So she gets out the car, Zac gets out the car, and he done had some time to think about this on the way home, right? So he looks at Fatima, and she's waiting, for him to open the door. And so he, mad and all, he's a gentleman, so he gets in front of her, he opens the door, holds the door open for her, and she walks in. When they get in, he goes and he sits down at the island and on a stool on the island in their kitchen. And Fatima goes over to the freezer and gets the ice packed out. And she's just like, "Let me see," she grabs his hand, because, his hand's bruised because he was beating the crap out of Aaron. So she puts, some ice on it, and she's like, basically, like, "So you happy now? Like, you feel like you got what you wanted?" Because, and he's like, by fighting him. And so he's like, what you talking about?" And she was like, "Zac, why was you fighting him?" And he was like, "'Cause he always like talking to me. I told him over and over again, like, to leave me alone, and he won't." And she was like, "Whatever." And he was like, "What?" She was like, "No, you was fighting him because you was mad at Karen." And he was like, "No." And she was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "No, I don't need no therapist. I'm telling you why I was fighting." And she was like, "Whatever, Zac, you make it about that." And he was like, "That's what it's about." And then he immediately says, "Here she is. She come into our lives all the time. She always starting stuff, and I'm just tired of it." Which, put a pin here. That's basically what she said. She just told you that this wasn't about Aaron, that this was about Karen. And so you just confirmed, Zac, that it was, because you just said that she come into our lives all the time, bringing all this drama, and you just got tired of it. Now, you was able to take it out on Aaron because Aaron is aggravating you and getting on your nerves as well, but you can't hit a woman, so you beat the crap out of Aaron instead. So anyway, him and Fatima, they're going, he's just like, you know what? I'm not about to continue. I'm not about to do this. And she was like, you're not about to do what? He was like, argue with you. Like, I'm going to bed. And she was like, all right, I'll tell you what. You can go to bed, but you're not sleeping in that bed upstairs. You sleep on the couch. And he was like, what? And she was like, you heard me. He was like, Fatima, like, real talk. Like, I'm too tired. I don't feel like doing all of this. I'm not sleeping in no couch in my own house. And she was like, in what? And he goes, I'm not sleeping on the couch in my own house. And she was like, I got you. And so he was like, what you talking about? And she was like, I'm leaving. And he was like, wait a minute, what you talking about you leaving? And she was like, well, first of all, if you think I can't find another bed to sleep in, you got me effed up. Like I said, I'm leaving. He goes, like, Fatima, chill out. You're not going nowhere. And she was like, how you going to tell me where the F I'm going? And so he's like, what's your problem? Like, real talk. So let me put a pin here. Let me just first say that I don't really condone any of this on either one of them, their sides. They are upset, but they not really mad at each other. They mad at the situation and they ticked off at Karen. And like I said, the emotions at this point are overflowing. They can no longer contain them. And so they're now lashing out at each other because they can't really lash out at Karen, in all honesty. And that's pretty much what this is. And so Fatima took a comment that Zac said that, and I honestly don't think that he meant to say like my house, as in this ain't your house, I bought this house or anything, but you got to choose your timing when you saying certain things. And, this probably wasn't the right time to kind of say that, this my house too, so I ain't sleeping on the couch, Zac, and so anyway. With Fatima, again, like I said, she'd been putting up with a lot. She, and her emotions are flowing as well. And so she's just like tired of it. She's like, but I tell you what, I'm not about to sleep with you. And you, she mad, she ticked off and I don't even want you in the bed right now. And so he, respond his way. And then she just responds again, more so out of anger because she mad because I already know that you fighting about this chick and it's not really about Aaron. And you just proved what I said, even though you ain't hearing what you say. So she all in her emotions as well. So she's like, I tell you what, I'll go sleep somewhere else. And so, to get him a little pissed off, she was like, if you think I can't find nowhere else to sleep, you got me effed up. And so that definitely infuriated him because he's like, what you talking about? And so she's like, I'm leaving. And so he's like, you're not going nowhere. And she's like, I know you ain't sitting here trying to tell me what I'm about to do. I'm a grown, tell woman. And so he's like, so this is what you gonna do? Every time you get mad, you gonna leave. And she's just like snaps. And she's like, you know what? I know, like, I'm not one of these chicks that I'm not the person who got all these chicks running up talking about that you they baby daddy and stuff like that. And I'm definitely not the one who is allowing this chick who you just screwed in her office to kiss you. So don't be trying to put this all on me. Some of this is on you. And to an extent, I agree. I don't agree the way she communicated it, but she's not wrong in what she's saying. She's just not communicating it correctly or in the right space. But again, she's emotional. Her emotions are high. They are both just over this whole thing, and emotions are flying everywhere. And they have, at this point, let loose on controlling their emotions and when and where to say certain things. And so anyway, he's like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. He was like, she here, Heather come bringing my stuff to me. Like she always starting stuff, and then Karen bringing stuff to me. Everybody bringing stuff, and now here you come and you want to try to bring some drama. And he was just like, I don't got time for it. But let me put a pin here, Zac. So you talking about marrying this chick? All these other chicks that's bringing you some stuff, I get it. Like I mean, it is what it is. This is a part of what happens when you do not protect yourself, when you out there, like in one episode, she said having sex for sport. And now you are dealing with the consequences of that. Now, with that being said, again, Fatima did choose to be in this relationship with you, but she did not choose to be in this relationship with you knowing that all this drama was going to come with it necessarily. And not only that so you mean, because in that moment, his comment to me said that you got time to deal with everybody else crap, but I don't get to have a moment, because that's what this is for Fatima. This is her moment. She's been trying to hold it down. She's been keeping it together, and she has finally bust. Her bubble burst. She's over it, and she's like, so you got time to let them come at you one way, them come at you one way, but when I have a moment, that's telling me that you're not gonna put up with my stuff because you got they stuff to deal with, but you want to marry me, and that's not how that goes. That's just not how it goes. Now, Fatima is not somebody who continues to keep him in drama and stuff like that. So her having a moment, I think, is absolutely realistic and can happen. And because guess what? He's going to have to learn how to deal with it because he wants her. He wants Fatima. So he's going to have to learn how to figure out how to navigate by letting Heather and the Karen stuff push that to the side when he's dealing with his woman and her emotions, because these are valid emotions that she's having. And so with that being said, he's just like, you know what, I'm not. And so she's like, I tell you what, he was like, if this is too much for you, then just go. And she was like, got you. You know what I mean? So and she was like, I got you. So she gets ready to walk off. Now, one of the things that I don't think that she should have done, and I do not condone, and I don't think is okay, is her pushing his face. Like, I'm absolutely one of them people who believe you keep your hands off of people. You keep your hands off of people. As far as a woman, you keep your hands off of him. And as a man, you keep your hands off of her. And then we ain't got no problem. Now, so that is something that I did not like about what she did. Even understanding that she's, having her emotional moment, you just keep your hands off of him. But another thing that I did not like on his end is I don't like when men step in women's faces. You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of get why she pushed him out her face, because don't be coming in my face yelling. You know what I'm saying? But again, do not condone it. I just kind of understand that to an extent because of kind of living like just life in a little bit of hood life. I've never actually experienced that kind of a situation, but I've observed it in many different circles around me. So I kind of get it. I don't agree with it. I'm just saying I get, the tensions are high. So, people step in your face, but I'm your woman. Don't step in my face like you about to fight me like a dude. That's just my take on it. And hey, it is what it is. So anyway, I think they both were wrong in that in that particular moment with their actions. And so again, Fatima pushes him off of her face, and she walks away. And and then he calls her name Fatima, and she's like, what? And he was like, you know what? I'm not going to be begging you to stay. If you want to go, go. And she was like, okay, I got you. I'm out. And then, she walks out and she, cusses him out. F you, and slams the door. And as soon as she leaves, he's like, and he's mad because he did not want that to happen. So anyway, fast forward into the scene, the night a little bit more. Andy, Fatima ends up calling Andy and telling her she gonna be late because her and Zac just got into it and she about to go to a room, which means she's gonna have to go home and get dressed because she didn't take anything. So Andy is like, Fatima, just come to my house. Like, I got plenty of room. Just come here. And she's like, are you sure? Because I really don't want to get in the way of you and Karen. And she's like, no, just come over here. And so that was that. Oh, but to take it back just a little bit more. Before the phone call between Andy and Fatima, after Zac and Fatima's argument, you go to the other side of town and it's at Karen's house, and it's Andy, Karen, and Aaron. So they walk into Karen's house, and Aaron goes to the kitchen to get some ice for his hand. And so Karen is like, Andy, why would he do that? And so Andy actually tells Karen, like, Karen, okay, so here's what happened. Somebody took a picture and sent it to Fatima and sent it to them, and, they were upset. And so Karen was like, wait a minute, so you knew about this and you didn't tell me? And she goes, no, Karen, I didn't tell you. And she goes, why wouldn't you tell me about a picture that I'm in? Like, what kind of friend are you? And she's like, Karen, I'm actually a really good friend. She was like, I don't know about that. And so they get into it, and she goes, all of us, you used to be a cool chick, but all of a sudden, ever since you met Fatima, like, you've been a shady friend. And I tell you what, like, I've been there for you. And so Andy is like, well, so has she. Like, you know, she's had my back. And she's like, well, so have I. Like, you know, she always throwing up again. We've been friends since college. I've known you longer. So she feels like Andy's loyalty is supposed to be towards her only. And so she goes, you know what? I tell you what, you could just leave. You could just get the F out and go away. And she's like, Karen, just be reasonable. I'm trying to explain like why I didn't tell you and all that kind of stuff. And she don't want to hear it. So she's like, Andy, I said, get out, get the F out my house. And she storms off to her bedroom. And Andy is basically like, Aaron, she's just not being reasonable. And he's like, I know I'm a calm down. She goes, oh, but now you got something to say. Because, you know, Aaron, again, I've already said, Aaron don't got no backbone to me. He a cream puff, as my spiritual mom said. And basically that's what Andy is telling him. So she leaves. And then you fast forward and have the conversation between Fatima and Andy about coming over to her house. When Fatima gets to Andy's house, basically, she's like, are you okay? And she's like, not really, you know. And so she begins to talk to her about what happened and what the argument was about. And she basically tells her, you know, he started tripping out. And then he ended up talking about like, this is his house and all this kind of stuff. And because I told him he had to sleep on the couch and, you know, and she was like, uh-oh, not his house. And she was like, yeah, like, you don't ask me to come and live with you and then tell me that, you know, this started talking about this your house, the kind of stuff. So she was like, so I'm done. I'm going to get my stuff. And I'm glad I kept my place. I'll be moving back into my place. And so Andy's like trying to calm her down. Like, calm down, Fatima. Like, is it that bad? And she's like, yes, Andy, it is this bad. Like, you know, we've never had this type of a blow up. And so right when she's like, you know, I just want you to listen to this. Like, you and Zac are happy together. Do not let Karen mess you guys up. And when she says that, the elevator opens and Karen pops out. And she's like, yeah, please don't let me mess up y'all relationship. And Fatima looks at Andy like, what the F? Like, you know, like, are you serious? And so that's the end of that episode. I'll end this particular video there and I'll pick up in the next video. We are still in season 5, but tell me what you thought about the whole incident. Again, do you think that Fatima is overreacting? Do you think that Zac is overreacting? Do you think that you can understand what they were saying and doing with each other, and why, although you, again, like me, don't necessarily agree or condone their actions with each other, but you kind of get it? Or like, let me know your thoughts. Again, the best way to have dealt with this would be for Fatima to have just gone to Zac when she got off of work and told him what happened, and then had a conversation, and hopefully it wouldn't have blew up this way. Now, again, this is TV and we are again talking about soul ties and stuff like that, but you can learn some things through different things and, you know, television shows. And one of them is the communication key of relationships. A lot of this drama between Zac and Fatima, if they would have talked to each other, could have stopped and prevented some of the blow up that happened. Now, Karen's soul tie issues, they're just hers. You know what I'm saying? I honestly don't know if she really set him up or anything like that, but it is interesting that somebody just happened to be there to take a picture that it was Angela's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, Karen read the text message, whether she responded to Zac that he was going to come and bring the paper about, she did. So in a way, I do feel like she set it up. Now, that's just me. But tell me what you think and in regards to that whole situation. And once again, just in regards to the soul tie thing, this time Karen, she wasn't really the one who blew up. Although I do think she orchestrated some of the stuff. And again, if she would have answered his question, even though he was upset, the fight probably wouldn't have happened. So again, this is not her fault. This is just saying that things could have been handled better if the communication was a little bit better. But also, this is TV, so we need our drama points. So with that being said, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get into this conversation, and I will get back with you on the next video and see what happens next. Talk to you soon. Bye.